ways. And so look for him to get to the basket, shoot some threes, numerous ways to score the ball tonight.
So Jaden Mott, the biggest player on the floor tonight at 6'8", he'll go up for the tap against Noah Mason, and Mott wins it back for the Huskies. NIU will start with possession. The Huskies at 2-6 on the year, looking to snap a 5-game losing skid. Benedictine coming in at 1-5.
I was interested to see how BenU is going to guard their ball screens, NIU's ball screens, because NIU sets a bunch of them. Looks like there's a lot of switching going on so far. That'll be interesting to watch.
Quentin Jones off target with the first three-point attempt. Mentioned the 37 threes NIU attempted against Eastern Illinois, a school record.
37 is a lot. It was 70% of the shots in the EIU game. Let's see if they shoot that many tonight.
Here's Mason open for three. He's short on it. Offensive rebound comes to Patrick Mayfield. So Benedictine will reset things with Ryan Sammons. Goes down to a knee, keeps his dribble. Shot clock under 10 here for the Eagles. Mayfield looking for some space. Goes to Mason. Shot clock winding down. Fall away jumper. That's an air ball. Tipped around out of bounds, though. It'll stay with Benedictine. So now really a third opportunity offensively here for the Eagles. Already.
Yeah. Let's see what they go with baseline out of bounds here. They like to start 1-4 low. Ball comes into Noah.
Can't hit just before the shot clock buzzer, and then a foul is called. Kalon Nichols just came on. First sub of the ball game. 6-foot sophomore. As the foul goes on Patrick Mayfield. So Nichols will bring the ball up, averaging just over 4 points per game for the Huskies. As a team, NIU averaging just under 69 points a night as Nichols can't hit the mid-range jumper. Now Benedictine looking to run the other way, but a turnover.
Huskies basketball.
Coach Townsend can't be too excited about that turnover early in the game. If BenU wants to roll with these guys for the rest of the night, they're going to have to make sure they take care of the ball.
Jordan Townsend in his third season leading Benedictine. Played Division III basketball at the University of Dubuque. And a foul called. It's going to go on Brandon McCoy. Second foul on Benedictine.
Second team foul.
The fouls will be interesting to watch. You know, a lot of times when you have a Division I versus a Division III game, the D3 school tends to foul a lot. So have to watch that.
And a couple early fouls for the Eagles. Here's Joe Munden Jr. back to the basket. Now he takes it outside. Kicks back out McPherson. Shot clock winding down. A drive to the cup. And a nice finish for Karan McPherson.
Really like his game. Transferred from Nebraska. Had a big game against Valpo not too long ago.
Here's Brandon McCoy. He's the sharpshooter for the Eagles. Hands off for Sammons. McCoy, 39% from three on the year. Oh. And a nice cut on the baseline. Extra pass for Mason. Now into the corner, but an offensive foul before that pass to McCoy.
Well, that was a really nice drive and kick, but you got to see that the defender is there. Make sure you don't get that charge. Nice job by NIU being ready and helping there, getting the charge.
Noah Mason picks up the foul. That's the third on Benedictine as a team. Just 2 points, nearly 3 minutes into this ball game. Pull-up jumper, Quentin Jones. Can't get the roll. And the rebound comes to Sammons for the Eagles. Now McCoy on the drive. Can't finish. Huskies looking to run the other way. Mott kicks it out. McPherson buries the three.
We're going to see a lot of drives and a lot of kicks from both teams tonight. That was a nice drive and kick for the three.
So a 5-point advantage to for the Huskies here in the early going. Mayfield on the cut on the baseline. Nice move from Patrick Mayfield, the graduate student from Elgin.
Yeah, that was a nice backdoor cut. Beautiful pass.
Mayfield's got a nice cheering section right behind us. Some of his friends from the area.
A lot of local kids in this game. BenU just being down 88. I'm sure they have a lot of fans at the game.
Right down the road in Lyle. And that three goes. Kaylon Nichols. Second three of the night for the Huskies.
Yeah, they shot 37 last game, and they're off to a good start here with a lot of threes as well. I don't know if we'll see that many, but looks like we're going to see quite a few.
Huskies on the season shooting just above 33% from beyond the arc. McCoy with a step back, and that doesn't fall. Rebound tipped around to McPherson. Nichols will bring it back out. Now a short jumper, and he hits it. Good start offensively for the Huskies, Jason.
Yeah, it really is. They're up 10-2 early here. Have got some good looks. Have got some easy baskets. Going into the first media timeout here, they got to feel pretty good about how they started.
Mason trying to work his way in and out. McPherson the rebound. Quentin Jones all the way down the floor, and he's fouled just as he was about to dish that pass. And that'll send us to a break. Good start for the Huskies. A 5-0 run for NIU. And the Huskies.
NIL has changed the landscape of things, and you've got a whole bunch of transfers at almost all schools.
Coach Berno, of course, his head coaching career got started at Marmion Academy down in Aurora. Best high school in the Chicagoland area. No bias there from me, Jason.
Oh, I know you went there as well. I hear that they're going to be co-ed.
Yeah, that's a big change as James Dent knocks down the three. So James Dent gets going from beyond the arc, up to an 11-point lead for the Huskies. And they are 3 for 4 from downtown so far. Brett Meyer, who just came in, kicks out for Resch. Fall-away jumper doesn't get the bounce. Rebound tipped by Mayfield, but a foul coming against NIU.
Husky foul number 3, Joe Munden Jr. is first.
Joe Munden Jr. picks up the foul. Coming out of that media timeout, Svet Sotirov came in for the Huskies. 6'9", redshirt freshman out of Rolling Meadows, Illinois. Mayfield spinning his way, pops out, and the rebound comes to Resch. Brett Meyer on the baseline, extra pass. Resch trying to find his way, and the jumper left short, so Tirov the rebound. Huskies looking to push once again, but a travel on Quentin Jones. So far, Jason, kind of interesting. We mentioned both these teams lacking size, and much of that for NIU due to injuries, but Benedictine leading the rebounding battle 7-5, and they're really going.
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen that coming necessarily, but they really are. NIU, it's maybe got to limit their second shots here, even though they're up big early. Then they need to correct moving forward.
Here's Meyer. As now it'll be Benedictine basketball here.
You gotta love that hustle, though. Get it on the floor. Good hustle by Nichols. He's had a great start to this game.
Tanner Resch will get a breather. Nichols with 5 points so far, along with Kron McPherson, each of them with 5, leading the way for the Huskies. Here's Salmons, and a little bit of a bump there on Nichols. And then a foul called on the battle for the rebound there. Let's take a look at the numbers on the year for these two teams, Jason. And, you know, for Benedictine, what's standing out is some struggles on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, you know, they've played some really good teams, though. Strength of schedule based on the Massey Index, the 12th in Division III at the moment. So that may not necessarily ring true for the rest of the season. Picked third in their conference, and they really pride themselves on defense.
Yeah, and Jordan Townsend mentioned he always wants to challenge his team, and that's why they're playing a game like this.
Yeah, they've played a bunch of very good Division III teams. They've also got Wisconsin Parkside coming up on the schedule, a Division II team coached by Luke Riegel, traditionally really good D2 team.
So Jordan Townsend and Benedictine willing to take on all comers, and feels like it's a great thing to prepare his team for later in the season in conference play, but there's a turnover for the Eagles. Noah Mason coming back in. Nathan LaPlante entering for the first time. LaPlante, the 6'7" sophomore out of Tinley Park. Another three on the way, and Dent knocks it down.
That was a pretty deep three right there. Like we talked about in the open, talented young man, James Dent.
He's got 6 points now, 2 for 2 from downtown. As Salmons drives on the left side, and a nice finish.
Yeah, southpaw there. Nice drive to the basket, playing through contract.
Here's McPherson. So Tiroff, a deep three. That doesn't fall. He can really shoot it. So Tiroff at 38% of the year, 6'9", but you have to love he can stretch the floor like that.
You really do. I don't imagine he was recruited to play the 5, probably the spacing 4, but because of their injuries, that's where he's at.
Nathan LaPlante hitting the 3. Third made 3 of the season for LaPlante. So Benedictine starting to get some things going on the offensive end of the floor. As that 3 doesn't go for McPherson. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Huskies with 11:15 to go, and that'll send us to another media timeout. NIU has jumped out to a 9-point lead on
to a little bit of a rough start, playing a tough schedule. Imagine that they're going to really make some strides moving forward.
It's been a 5-0 run for the Eagles, entering that last media timeout. Last year, Benedictine finished 16-11 before they fell to St. Norbert in the NACC tournament. Quentin Jones looking to drive. Too much on that one. The rebound goes to Brett Meyer. Meyer out of Newark, Illinois. Population of less than 1,000. Started his college career at Parkside, where Benedictine will be playing in a couple of weeks. A deep 3 doesn't go from Salmons. And the rebound taken there by Nichols. Huskies push ahead. McPherson with the easy 2. Well, Jason, we talked about, the size is pretty equal, but NIU does have that athleticism and speed advantage in this one.
They do, and you can really see it in some of the transition plays and the fast breaks as we see McPherson finish there.
Another transition bucket for the Huskies, and it's back to a 13-point lead for NIU. McPherson leading the way with 9 points. As Meyer has it tipped away. Defense starting to get more active for NIU. Dent around a screen from Mott, finds some space and rolls it over the rim.
Yeah, we called him a little bit of a Swiss Army knife there. That's what we were talking about. You see jump stop, step through, nice shot there.
I think that was a great example. Old school basketball right there, and a really nice finish from Dent. LaPlante looking for another 3, and he's got it.
Okay.
He's showing the range tonight. Came into this game with only 2 made 3s on the season. He's got 2 tonight. But now McPherson with another nice finish. He's into double figures with 11.
Yeah, and a careless turnover here. by BenU. They got lucky that they didn't just get scored on there.
LaPlante looking for another one. That time it's short. A little bit of a heat check there from Nathan LaPlante, but why not?
Yeah, he must be feeling pretty good. I wasn't expecting the first three and then the second, and might as well give it a third shot, right?
Patrick Mayfield, Tanner Resch coming back in. Aiden Worth as well onto the floor. Junior out of Overland Park, Kansas. Worth gives him some size at 6'8" as Dent looks for another three off target. Resch the rebound. McCoy hands off for Mayfield. Resch around a screen, gets fouled, and he'll head to the free throw line for two.
Husky foul number 11, Jaden Mott, his first personal, third team foul.
Take another look at this foul here, Jason. What did you see?
Resch goes to the free throw line.
Yeah, Tanner get into the basket. Tough, hard-nosed young man, not afraid to play through contact. Be good for BenU to get him on the board with some free throws here because he's a big piece of their scoring.
Resch, the leading scorer for the Eagles, and that's his first point of the ball game. Previously played at UW La Crosse. Out of Sussex, Wisconsin. Originally was first team All-State at Hamilton High School in the state of Wisconsin. So Tiroff thought about it. Now Nichols will try. Way off target there, and the rebound goes to Nick Rentis. Rentis, the junior out of Park Ridge, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Now Worth, the floater falls.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of back to the basket basketball there. Worth with a good left shoulder shot there, using his right hand over his left shoulder. He is a solid post player.
Quentin Jones defended by McCoy. Out to McPherson. His three goes. Ron McPherson up to 14 points, 6 of 7 from the field. Mayfield into the lane, takes a bump. He'll head to the free throw line for two.
Husky foul number 14, James Dent.
That'll send us to a break. Husky, a team that'll contend in the NACC.
Yeah, they were picked third. They've already played one conference game against Wisconsin Lutheran, and it was a close game and hard fought.
And Wisconsin Lutheran, a top 25 team that Benedictine fell to.
I believe they're ranked 15th in the country at the moment.
And the Eagles had a big win in their season opener, 85-84 over Wheaton College. A little bit of a local rivalry there. But a non-conference game with the Thunder in the CCIW Division III. So here's a kick out, McPherson, and he does it again. 17 points for Karan McPherson.
Nichols used the ball screen, got deep in the paint. Nice pass to McPherson, who's really playing well at the moment.
Season high with 17 points. 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. McCoy looking to respond. Too strong, but an offensive rebound for Rentis. And they'll have to adjust the shot clock. This took a little bit longer to get it reset back to 20. Now, Jason, when you were coaching here at NIU, that was not the rule. You know, that's been in place for a few years now with the offensive rebound. It goes to 20 seconds. What do you think of that change that they made a few years ago?
Yeah, I can see why they do it. So you can't run the clock as long. I like the rule change.
That's definitely made for more possessions, more scoring as McCoy with a nice take, but doesn't get the bounce. And now McPherson looking to push the other way. Over for Nichols on the baseline. Out to Sotirov. And the three in and out. McCoy grabs the rebound. Six minutes left in this first half. Benedictine trailing by 16 as Mayfield tries a step-back three. Nothing but net. What a shot.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I don't know about it. That was a great shot, but it went in, so it is now, right?
High degree of difficulty, but Mayfield able to hit it. Sotirov in close with the score.
Yeah, Sotirov loves to shoot threes, but you see him finishing near the basket there. He is 6'9".
Still got that size. Mayfield trying to go to work against him, and it goes out to Mason, able to track it down near the sideline. Now Resch lost it, but it'll stay with Benedictine.
Thank you. Jake Mott checks back into the Husky lineup, replacing Set.
Yeah, taking a look at this last three, or rather this last finish here by Sotirov.
Yeah, you see him using his right hand over his left shoulder. Nice finish there.
Shot clock winding down for Resch. And he left it short. McPherson the rebound as the Huskies look to push once again. McPherson can't finish. And the rebound grab there by Salmons. Now the Eagles try to push it the other way. Outside Mason for three. Too strong. And Joe Munden Jr. all the way to the bucket, coast to coast.
Took it rim to rim there. We really got to stop him in transition. Can't let the Huskies get easy baskets like that.
Well, Joe Munden Jr., a player, the Huskies love his experience. 4 years at Fairleigh Dickinson, including 2 years ago, of course, was a part of that very special team that took down Purdue. Just the second 16 seed ever to beat a 1 in the NCAA tournament. And he was a starter on that team.
I remember that team. They were a lot of fun to watch. It's interesting. We've got a lot of newcomers here at NIU, but a lot of people that have also played in other Division I programs. A lot of the players also that were at NIU last year that were solid pieces have gone on to other programs. From what I know, some of them received some NIL money. So this is an interesting time in college basketball.
Yeah, it's been 8 new players on the NIU roster. Here's McPherson cutting the basket, can't quite finish. Ron McPherson already with a career high. His previous was 14. He's got 17 in this first half. Salmons on the baseline. Kicks it outside for Ryan Tucker. Mayfield looking for another three, and he buries it, showing his range.
He's hit a couple shots that are highly difficult, but they are going in.
And a turnover. Here come the Eagles the other way. Mayfield, he's got the hot hand, and he nails another. Wow. Patrick Mayfield up to 11 points. He's 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. And Benedictine on a 6.
In this game and wasn't expecting him to play threes just like that. He's just from down the road in Burlington Central, so I'm sure he's been a lot of NIU games. Played on this floor before.
And that's a great high school basketball program in Burlington Central. They make a lot of deep runs in the IHSA, and he's got that cheering section right behind us. Quentin Jones working with the right hand. Nice finish. First points of the night for Quentin Jones, the leading scorer for the Huskies. Came into this game at just under 15 a night. Huskies haven't needed him too much, but that's a good basket coming out of the media timeout to end the run for the Eagles as LaPlante hits another three. So Benedictine has now hit 6 threes in this first half, and a turnover for the Huskies. Here comes Brett Meyer the other way, all the way to the bucket, and he has it swatted. Couple of Huskies in the area and a collision at the end of that play. Meyer went down as well as Joe Munden Jr. And thankfully it looks like they're both all right.
His first personal 5th team foul.
It was Munden who came into the end of that play, just kind of ran into the stanchion.
That was a great hustle play by him. coming from behind and protecting the rim.
So it's a 10-point game. It's been a 9-2 run for Benedictine. As Dent, oh, what a pass, and the slam for Jaden Mott.
That was a beautiful pass. Nice dunk there. Huskies looking to get some easy baskets here.
NIU at 55% from the floor in this first half. Salmons, cross-court pass. Tucker, open three in the corner. That one doesn't go, but an offensive rebound. Tucker puts it back up and in. Ryan Tucker, one of the key bench players for the Eagles, has appeared in all 6 games coming into tonight. And the Huskies with the response. Quentin Jones, he's starting to get going.
He is. You would have expected him to get his first basket earlier in the game, but nice baseline drive, baseline drift, and shot there.
Mayfield looking for another one, in and out. And an offensive rebound for Meyer. He's fouled over the back. Boy, Brett Meyer has provided some really quality minutes off of the bench for the Eagles.
His first personal 15 foul.
Doesn't have a point yet, but 3 rebounds, a couple assists, a steal. Just seems like a great hustle player for Benedictine.
Yeah, doesn't have a point yet, but has definitely made an impact on the game.
Mayfield in the corner, and he's fouled. Quentin Jones picks up the foul, and 3 free throws coming for Pat Mayfield. That's the 16th foul on the Huskies in this first half.
Happy about that, following a 3-point shooter fading away.
Just in the corner, Jones extending that hand as Mayfield knocks down the first. Only been at the free throw line 5 times this season coming into tonight. 3 for 5 on the year. And he misses the second, but he's got 1 more to come. It was a tough start shooting in this one for Benedictine, but they have really heated up. And it's an 11-point game after Mayfield makes 2 out of 3. And a 30-second timeout taken here by Jordan Townsend. Well, it looked like, Jason, in the early going, it was 16-2 NIU. It looked like they've gotten accustomed to it and are right in this ball game. See how NIU does coming out of the timeout. About 1:40 to go in this opening half.
Yeah, they're going to stack it up here, look for a high ball screen.
Here's Nichols in the corner. Back out McPherson looking for 3 more and give him 20 on the night.
Wow, he's having a good game.
4 for 5 from 3. And McPherson coming into this game, he'd only made 3 threes on the season. He's got 4 in the first half.
Yeah, he obviously can shoot it. You know, he hasn't played that many games with the Huskies. Been in Nebraska, obviously a good player. If you end up in the Big Ten with Nebraska and Fred Hoiberg, showcasing his skills tonight.
He's exceeded his career high by 6 points. Spin move for Salmons in the lane. Had it blocked, but a foul called. Or rather, travel. So it will be NIU ball with 53 seconds to go.
Yeah, NIU doing a really good job on Salmons. He's left-handed, forcing him to go right. You can tell he's not quite as comfortable going that direction.
About a 22-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Chance for NIU to get a 2 for 1 as Quentin Jones will kick out. Dent open for 3. Doesn't fall, and the rebound taken by Mason. Mason pushing ahead all the way to the cup, and he's fouled.
Yeah, interesting to see a 5-man get the rebound, go rim to. Yeah, we'll see it here on the video. 5-man going rim to rim, taking it all the way to the rim, getting fouled. You don't see that that often in basketball, more and more often as of late.
You have to like that if you're Jordan Townsend, having a player like Mason who can handle the basketball, though he misses the first free throw. He's a 51% free throw shooter, but it's been an incredible start to his freshman year, averaging over 12 points, nearly 6 rebounds a game. That's not something you expect very often from a freshman, but Coach Townsend told us that he did have some pretty high expectations for Mason.
Yeah, not surprised by the success he's having. You know, he had a lot of confidence, knew what he had in him.
Runner in the lane for Nichols, off the glass and in. Back up to a 15-point lead. Benedictine can hold for the last shot of this first half. McCoy gives to Mayfield. Now Tucker for three. Doesn't go. Mason at the horn. He got it. What an end to the first half for Benedictine. And they're hanging tough here in DeKalb, trailing by 13.
Increase this lead.
And I think especially on the defensive boards as well, giving up the 9 offensive rebounds compared to just 1 for NIU.
Oh, without a doubt, that's a big difference in the game, and I'd look to see them do a better job on that end right now.
And the Huskies start with the basketball here in the second half. Looking for their 3rd win of the season as Quentin Jones draws a quick foul, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Quentin Jones, one of the best scorers on the team. You saw a nice drive to the right there. Get an early foul and some free throws. This is a good start for the Huskies.
Jones out of Marion Catholic High School, transferred to NIU from Cal Poly. Last year at Cal Poly, averaged nearly 10 points per game. That was a big thing Rashawn Burno talked about in the preseason, is just that NIU, they were looking for the right fits in the portal and players that had contributed at the college level, and Quentin Jones is certainly one of those.
Oh, without a doubt, you can tell he's played a lot of basketball, comfortable out here on the Division One level. Really good scorer, really good player.
It's a little bit of a quiet first half for Jones with only 5 points, but 2 quick points to start out the second half. As Mayfield hands off here for Resch. Tanner Resch only 2 points in that first half. Came into this one averaging nearly 18 a contest. As here's a foul on the floor. This is going to go on Jaden Mott.
Husky foul number 11.
That's the second on Mott.
First team foul.
BenU having a hard time getting it in there.
And the steal for Mott. Can't quite finish, and the putback doesn't go for McPherson. And then a foul as the Huskies went for the rebound.
Yeah, the Huskies didn't sandwich that 1-4 look on the baseline in the first half, but you see they did there. Really hard for BenU to get it in.
Ron McPherson picks up his 3rd foul. So that's something to keep an eye on. McPherson with the 20 points. And he'll have to head to the bench with the 3 fouls.
Yeah, that's someone who you want to keep in the game right now, as well as he's been playing.
Huskies applying a little bit of pressure in the backcourt. Ryan Salmons pulls up for a 3, can't hit. And the rebound taken there by Jones. Huskies remaining patient offensively. Now Mott with a nice move in the post and the finish. 4 points on the night for Mott, freshman out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. And an offensive foul. That's a turnover for Benedictine. We'll give it back to NIU. Noah Mason picking up the offensive foul.
Second team foul.
Well, a turnover there, Jason, but Benedictine won for their last 5 from the field. What have you seen NIU improve on defensively?
Yeah, well, they haven't given up as many easy baskets as far as driving kicks and open threes. Definitely haven't had any uncontested shots so far, making it hard for Benedictine to get any baskets.
Here's Jones all the way to the bucket. And Quentin Jones, just like that, up to 9 points. Now, that's an amazing thing about the scorer like Jones. Has a really quiet first half, but all of a sudden he's up to 9.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the game he has quite a few more. He's a dynamic scorer for sure.
Up to Mott in the front court for another slam. And Jaden Mott showing up in this one.
He is. He got out there early. Nice pass ahead, and exciting to see that dunk there.
Up to 6 points on the night for Mott. That jumper doesn't go. Dent the rebound. Huskies look to push once again. Alley-oop for Jones. Can't slam it home, but there is Munden Jr. for the putback. And that is now a 10-0 run for the Huskies.
You see we've got some subs coming in here for BenU. Tough start to the second half.
Trying to find some answers, and an offensive foul is going to give it right back to NIU. Brandon McCoy picking up his third foul. Brett Meyer will come back on. Huskies will set up the offense. Mott back to the basket. Extra pass for Nichols. And he hits the three in the left corner.
That was pretty basketball right there.
Great ball movement.
Great ball movement, a nice roll, made the extra pass. I had a coach who say you got to play the right way in the past, and yeah, that was playing the right way.
So the lead is now ballooned to 26 points on this 13-0 run, but Benedictine with their first bucket of the second half as Ryan Tucker gets to the hoop. Jones looking for three. That doesn't go. Mayfield with the fake. Now he'll take the three, but had it partially blocked there by Jones, and the Huskies have numbers the other way. Jones off the glass. It doesn't go. Tipped around, and the rebound taken there by LaPlante.
Yeah, you've seen Mayfield has had a harder time getting this shot off. Definitely have the Huskies honed in on him a little bit more after the first half he had.
Well, he's open for three here and knocks it down.
I say
he
that,
must have heard you.
He gets a wide open shot.
16 points now for Patrick Mayfield. Nichols trying to get out of a double team. Jones. Now Nichols on the right side. Pulls up in the lane and hits.
Nichols for two.
12 points now for Kalon Nichols. A 23-point lead for NIU. They have had a fantastic start to this second half as Meyer down the lane, and he gets the roll off the front iron.
Another southpaw, I believe there. We've got quite a few on the team. Meyer is, McCoy is, Salmon is. Coach Townsend must recruit lefties.
You know, as I was going to ask you that, as a coach, did you like getting some lefties into the program?
Not necessarily anything we proactively recruited to, but a lot of people aren't used to it, and it definitely does help from time to time.
LaPlante with his back to the basket. Kicks out, Tucker fakes, and now takes the three, and it's nothing but net. 7 points for Ryan Tucker as Dent is short on his three. Resch looking to push ahead for Meyer, and Jones got a piece of it.
Jones has got those long arms. I wonder what his wingspan is. I think it's probably a pretty good number, and then finishes on the other end.
Gets all the way to the hoop. He's up to 11 now in double figures once again. Mayfield from the logo. Yes! Wow. Patrick Mayfield up to 19 points. And that was his deepest of the night. Fifth made three of the ball game. And right away a response from Joe Munden Jr.
Well, we said we're going to see a lot of threes in this game, and that's exactly what we've seen.
We have seen 19, 9 for Benedictine, 10 for NIU. Both teams shooting the three really well tonight. Oh, Mayfield thought about another one. Now he's going to drive it, and one. He'll go for three the old-fashioned way. Patrick Mayfield, have a night. He's up to 21, and he'll look to add. Not a junior. We've had a lot of juniors on the floor. Patrick Mayfield, not one of them, but what a night he has had. 21 points, 7 for 11 from the field.
And how many of those are threes, Connor? It's good to see him put it on the floor here, and here he goes with an and one. But a versatile player, really feeling good tonight.
22 points, and this is something he'll remember for a long time, as here's a steal by Meyer. To Salmons, but he's blocked by Jones. Nearly turned over, but the Huskies have it the other way with numbers. McPherson tries the reverse lay-in. Can't finish. It's out of bounds, but will stay with the Huskies. Well, Quentin Jones can score it, getting it done on the defensive end here.
Yeah, and I talked about how long he is. You could see that in the block there. He averages quite a few blocks a game, actually. Something he definitely contributes to the Huskies.
And this NIU team leading the MAC, nearly 5 blocks per contest, as McPherson had to go in and out, and a foul on the floor.
Had a really open look on that baseline out of bounds play. Coach Burno probably drew that up out of the last dead ball.
Ryan Tucker picked up the foul, his second, third on Benedictine as a team in the second half. Kalon Nichols coming back on for the Huskies, and McPherson a little bit slow going to the bench, and that would be really bad news for NIU.
Don't want to see any more injuries for these guys. They've had a tough go of it with injuries. That's for sure. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Here's Dent, top of the key jumper, and knocks it down. And the Huskies came into this game with only 7 scholarship players ready to go for this one. They're without Nasir Muhammad, of course. They've been without Ethan Butler for a few games, also without Oluwasegun Durosinmi.
I like to call him Duro, Connor.
As another three for Mayfield. Are you kidding me right now? Up to 25 points.
Yeah, he's having an incredible night. Being from down the road, he's got to feel good about where he's at right now.
Well, you have to imagine he was pretty motivated getting the opportunity to play here at NIU, coming from Burlington Central High School, and here he's got an offensive rebound. Mayfield finds an open Tucker. He is doing it all.
He's got a little bit of everything.
Boy, Patrick Mayfield really showing out. Again, a Division III team against Division I, and he has been the biggest star of this ball game, as James Dent, though, with the response on the other end.
Yeah, you see him get into the paint there, jump stop, made it look kind of easy.
Salmons on the left side. Kicks out for Worth. Too strong there. But an offensive rebound for Meyer.
Another offensive rebound by BenU.
Now Worth cutting. And good defense by Sotirov. As NIU will go the other way. Huskies lead by 18. Jones to Sotirov. And he's fouled just as he went up to the basket. And That'll send us to a break. It has been the Patrick Mayfield Show in DeKalb. 25 points, 6th year at NIU. The Huskies have that big one coming up against Missouri on Saturday. But here in this game, it's Svet Sotirov at the free throw line. And he's able to get the bounce on the first free throw.
Yeah, you saw him take a lot of threes against Eastern Illinois in the last game. We're counting him as a big. You notice he's got the mask on, broke his nose. Thank goodness he's able to play, and they're not down another big.
So many players dealing with the injury bug early in the season for NIU. That has been tough for Rashawn Berno and company. As Sotirov comes away with a rebound. See, Stephen Tipton is on the floor for the Huskies. 6'2 junior out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. One of the walk-ons on this Husky team. Nichols with a nice move to get to the hoop.
Nichols to the rack for 2.
That is now 14 points for Kalon Nichols. Transfer from Duquesne. McCoy for 3, and he hits it. That is the first points of the night for Brandon McCoy, who came into this one averaging 11, and he finally gets going from downtown. Quentin Jones on the baseline gets the roll, and Quentin Jones up to 13 points on the night.
Yeah, you see the Huskies get into the basket, getting some high percentage shots. They're shooting 57% from the field right now. They've got to be happy with that.
40 points in the paint. Brandon McCoy with a couple points in the paint for himself.
Another backdoor cut and nice pass.
Dent kicks out Nichols. Here's Dent open for 3 and buries it. James Dent Jr. up to 17 on the night. Second on the Huskies in this ball game. Now Meyer.
Another backdoor cut.
And it looks like it was out of bounds on the baseline. That'll give it back to the Huskies. Jaden Mott coming back on for NIU. As Noah Mason will get a breather, maybe a little bit shaken up on that last play. Nichols will bring it up the floor for the Huskies.
You see BenU trapping the ball screen, blitzing the ball screen there. Almost turned it over.
Jones open 3, no. Rebound tapped out of bounds, and it'll go to Benedictine. Yeah, a little bit of an adjustment defensively from the Eagles after seeing NIU hit 4 of their last 5 shots.
Yeah, and down 21 with 8 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more of that.
Salmon setting up the offense. Out to McCoy looking for another 3. That pops out. Jones rises for the rebound. Quentin Jones down the lane. Oh, what a finish.
Quentin Jones for 2.
Here's McCoy. That doesn't fall. Huskies pushing ahead. Tipped in. Out to Jones. Corner 3. He got it. Quentin Jones up to 18 points on the night.
Yeah, Quentin having a scoring game like we expected in the beginning.
Came into this one averaging nearly 15 a night. Had 20 points in the game against Valpo, 22 against Monmouth. Shot clock winding down for the Eagles. Salmons all the way to the cup. Well done there by Salmons to get the bucket. But NIU running away with this one, 24-point lead for the Huskies.
Some study time in there to make sure you do well on your finals. And with all the injuries, the Huskies have got to be glad that they don't have a full schedule for the next few weeks here.
Got a couple of tough road games coming up after this one for NIU against some Missouri Valley opponents. Here's a steal for Mayfield. So after this one, NIU will take on Northern Iowa and Illinois State, both of those on the road. And then they'll have 12 days off to celebrate the holidays a little bit and come back for that game against East-West just before MAC play begins in the month of January. Corner three, that doesn't go. Ben Peacock out there. Now McCoy will try. He can't hit, and tipped in the rebound for the Huskies.
You said 12 days off, Connor. That doesn't seem like a lot, but I guarantee they'll be ready to play East-West and get back here on the floor during the season. That's a long break.
Yeah, a chance to spend some time with family as well that time of the year. And hopefully, just as you said, Jason, this NIU team really needs a chance to recover from some of these injuries they've suffered early in the year.
When it matters.
Coach Berno in the preseason mentioned, obviously non-conference games are really important. You want to win it as much as possible, but he said ultimately your season comes down to getting to Cleveland, as Nichols left the three short, and that of course being the MAC tournament held in Cleveland every year.
Yeah, hard to tell who's the favorite in the MAC at the moment. Ohio was picked as the number one team in the MAC, but have suffered a couple losses here. Played some tough non-conference games. Toledo has been really good in the past, but maybe they won't be quite as good this year. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
And now Munden coming up a little bit slow. It looks like he collided on that last defensive possession. And, boy, Jason, the hits just keep coming for the Huskies. Hopefully Munden is all right here.
Yeah, hopefully this is nothing serious.
We already saw McPherson go out of the game as he came up a little bit slow, and Jordan Townsend checking in with one of the officials as Stephen Tipton is going to check back into the ball game. So Mott will be at the free throw line. The unfortunate thing for the Huskies is just coming into this game with only 7 scholarship players, even with this big lead, you have to keep some of your key contributors on the floor because that's just who's available to play. Oh,
yeah, without a doubt. I'm glad to see Tipton on the floor. As a former manager, I've got a lot of love for the managers. They do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I'm glad to see him out on the floor. Would love to hear a little bit more about that story. Really need these guys to stay healthy.
The managers are the unsung heroes of collegiate athletics. As you said there, Jason, so much work that they have to do with whether it's the laundry, organizing the locker room, as there's a basket for Ben Peacock.
I think he got away with the travel there, but nice drive and finish.
Tipton open for three, too much on it. And now a steal. Here's Nichols, who has a career high in this ball game with 14 points. Previous career high was 10.
Yeah, it's good to see some other Huskies contributing. We knew we'd get some production from James Dent. We knew we'd get some big production from Jones, right? But McPherson really coming up with a big game, and as you mentioned, Nichols really contributing as well.
A lot of different players getting involved as Landon Johnston will head to the free throw line. Johnston out of Chesterton, Indiana. Goes on Jaden Mott. Fourth foul on Mott. As Connor Glasgow will come into the ball game. Also Hudson Parker, freshman out of Wheaton, Illinois. So Jordan Townsend giving some of his bench players an opportunity to get time on a Division I floor. As David Mack comes on for NIU.
Yeah, seeing some different players in the NIU lineup as well.
Both coaches giving an opportunity for some of the reserves to get out on the floor. As Trent Askew checks in as well for Benedictine. It'll be Mack bringing the ball up, freshman out of Los Angeles. Mack with a nice move, the pass out of the corner. Now Tipton will try the three, a little bit off target there. Rebound in the corner, and it's going to stay with the Huskies. And we're going to head to another break as NIU continues to cruise well on their way to their third punt here. And talked about it a little bit earlier, Jason, just a fantastic story. He's looking for his first points of the season. He has scored in his career, which included 2 really big free throws last season when NIU got the win over MAC regular season champ Toledo.
Well, with 4 minutes left here and a healthy lead, I root for those managers because I know how vital they are to the program, and I think the story of him, manager to player, is a really cool story. I hope to see him get a bucket here.
Not something you see too often, as Landon Johnston, a couple points for the Eagles. You know, the interesting thing about basketball managers, there's a pretty competitive league of NCAA Division I basketball managers where they play games the night before when they're on the road, as Tipton can't hit the three. So I don't know if the NIU basketball managers, if they're in that league, but I've seen some pretty competitive games on social media.
Yeah, I'm a little removed from the program, but when I was coaching here at NIU, I know that the basketball managers did play in that league, and there were some very competitive games. In fact, some of the managers recruited a couple kids on campus, not because they were great managers, just because they could hoop a little bit.
So it doesn't matter if you have managing experience. You just got to be able to ball. Yeah.
Definitely needed to up their talent level, so they got a couple kids that could just play.
As it's out of bounds, it'll go back to NIU. Got Peyton Ackerman out on the floor, redshirt sophomore out of Oklahoma City. Ackerman looking for his first points of the season.
That was a nice crossover and pass there. Gets it to Mack.
Now can't hit the three. But you can see how fired up the bench is getting any time Mack tipped in. And if we see Ackerman take a shot, you can tell their teammates really excited for them to get the opportunity out here tonight.
Yeah, Mack a few plays back, crossed somebody over, got to the basket. He probably should have laid it in, but passed it to the corner. The bench was excited for him, you could tell.
Here's Ackerman to Mack. Now Jones back over to Mack for three and left it short, but tipped in. His putback doesn't go, and a jump ball. And the possession arrow will give it to NIU. No, Benedictine will have the basketball. Tanner Starrett comes on for Benedictine, senior out of Lafayette, Indiana.
Checks back in for the Huskies.
So Starrett getting an opportunity to play for the first time this season. And a foul.
That's just the fifth there, so the Huskies have some fouls to give.
Fifth team foul.
Foul going on David Mack. Askew kicks out for Peacock. His three doesn't go, but an offensive rebound. Great battle here. Benedictine doing a nice job on the offensive glass, but Mott comes away with this one.
Nice ball movement.
Mack will kick it out. And out of bounds on the sideline. We'll give it back to Benedictine. Well, a 22-point lead for NIU. And what a job the Huskies did shooting the three. 12 made threes in this ball game. That's on 30 attempts. Here's a steal now for Mack. All the way to the hoop. Can't finish with the land. And a foul. Couple of free throws coming here for Dominic Siago-Tura.
Husky foul number 11, Jayden Nutt, his fifth personal.
We said the Huskies were going to shoot a lot of threes. Last game 37, which is a ton, but this game 30 as well. But they've made 12 of them, shooting 40%. That's some big-time shooting right there.
You'll always take 40% from three. 12 made. Overall, NIU 51% from the field in this ball game.
At the free throw line for Benedictine, shooting the back end of the two-shot foul.
Siago-Tura scores his first point of the season. Makes both free throws, so a nice moment for him. Plenty of players getting experience in the back end of this ball game. As it was stolen, and now a foul on Mack.
Husky foul number 21, David Mack, his second personal, seventh team foul.
The seventh team foul on the Huskies, so be a 1-and-1.
And possible bonus. Bonus shot.
Is that sponsored? I actually lost my reads. As Mack grabs the rebound. Final seconds winding down in this one. About a 3-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. As the Huskies are well on their way to their third win on their home floor this season. They played good basketball here at the Convocation Center.
They have.
Ackerman can't hit the three. And a foul going on Tipton. So a couple more free throws coming for the Eagles.
Husky foul number 22, Stephen Tipton, his first personal, eighth team foul.
A lot of positives for Northern Illinois tonight, but you got to look at that rebound total, and I'm seeing that they got out-rebounded 44-36. I'm imagining that's going to be emphasized in practice here in the coming days.
And the Huskies coming into this game had been out-rebounded this season about 34-39, but NIU can dribble out the final seconds of an 89-70 victory over Benedictine, and they pick up their third win of the season, third win on their home floor. Jason, your final thoughts on this one?
Saw a lot of